Okay, guys, back with you here on the 14th, kind of early afternoon. So next up here, I hadn't even noticed this, was the euro to the dollar. I ended up getting the most votes in the poll here. So it's kind of interesting. We hadn't looked at this in a while. This seems like a good exercise here. There's a few things here we could probably glean from this. So I'm all the way back here, of course, to 02 lows. Now, pardon me, I should say I'm on a 3-day here. You know, we want to try and get the big picture here if we can. Right, so the count here, it does, it looks like we're, well, what can we say for sure? We've got an internal correction going on. We've got a low, we got a high, and we're still internal to it. Now I've got a set of the shift median lines here where we seem to be framing the market fairly well here. We're catching this lower edge here down to the tick. It does look like it's a WXY. So we've got the A, B, C here into the W. So it looks like W into the X. And then we go yet again into an A, a B, and we come down here, we finish that C. Now there's an impulse coming off the low. Kind of a gnarly correction going on without much retracement here. It's just a slow, steady grind lower. So with that established here, now I'm gonna, let's hide that pitchfork. Okay, let's bring that back here. Let's get out of the daily here, because I think this is where this is getting a little unusual here. Let's open this up a bit more. Okay, so if this is our Y here, now coming off of this, the impulse up, hard to argue with it. The subdivision in the 5 is there, the 3, so pretty darn good, right? So we just force a habit. I'm just prone to do that here. Often those will come back into play. Note here we get a little, it's all damn near to the tick here, but this is our wave 1 high. I think that's 1, 2, and then we got to go 3, 4, 5 of the 3. So it's deep, right? So I'm sure you guys have all drawn this up already. You've broken the golden zone here. Now, as a 2, so if let's label it, right? So if we're coming from this low as a 1 down to a 2, we're still well within the range of what do I want? Here we go. Let's take you down. Bear with me a sec here. I should have done that. Let's get you over here. We'll change that color. Okay, so if this is 1, 2, yeah, it's deep, right? We're coming back to all of this support here. There's, it's so sure. Are we in the potential buy zone? Yeah, and we've had a little push and now a retrace. Now this is a very shallow B. So again, I'm assuming you guys have all done this here. So we only make the 38 again, right? So we do get an algo target here. Hard to say, right? When it's that, is it worth going through the count here? Well, just at first glance, just looking at big swings, it looks like you'd have to consider some sort of a diagonal there. So let's get this down. Ending diagonal, right? We'd have to check that. Let's just real quick check those swing relationships. Do we get anything here? I remember we're always looking for the 4. Let's get that up a degree. So 1, 2, oh man, that's an ugly 3, mighty ugly. Let's check that swing length here. I think we're okay. As in, nope, hang on, better check that. I guess this may not work here. No, it won't, right? So that can't be. So we'd have to do it this way. So we can't, well, you see what I was just doing there? 3 would be the shortest. All right, 5 longer than 3. I thought we might be okay, but A, B, C into the 1, A, B, C into the 2. Shit. That looks like a 5, unfortunately. So I guess we'd have to do it this way. God damn, that's awful. Well, let's just take a look here. So if we go here for the 2, okay, good. Here we got our algo target here, but we got to get an A, B, C out of that. You either have to go 1. No, that's ugly too. Okay, so what does that leave for us? Well, one scenario, one thought is here we're not done. All right, so if we go 1, 2, we're still seeking 3, maybe 4 is in. That's hard to say. Let's pull this down here. Okay, if that's 1, 2, and we're going to have to trade this as A, B, and we're going into the C down here to give us the 3 of the diagonal. And so already it's a little iffy, so let's go make this bigger. Okay, so, oof. Jesus, can you even get it here? B, C, you'd have to go A, B, C, A, B, C. Poof, that's not pretty. I think that's your best bet here, though. Well, let's just check this real quick. Oh, God damn it. Come here. Golden zone here. At least we get something technical. I think we have to go A, B, and because this looks like a 5, it looks like we get an ending diagonal. So I think you have to do it this way. So, well, you put it here, it wouldn't matter. So we'd still go into the golden zone here. That we go 65 to the tick. You know, we're to and through that first target. You've got no help here on start of the 1 through the pivot of the 3 here. So that would imply perhaps there's more kick there. So this potentially now just setting up for that before we go down lower, because this, boy, it's so, geez, I'm on a daily here and look at the chop. Just awful. Now, so how do you deal with that? Right, so the subdivision here is a bit of a, you're making your best guesstimate there. Hard to be definitive about it. See, you just got a series of problems. So the 5 down here is hard to argue with that one. All right, so we can see this one. Yeah, well, even that, it's a little shaky on that. All right, so it's just one of those. So that's clearly a 3. So you got a little problem in here in that this is hard to dig 5 out of that, right? So you've got a 3 to finish it here. So, unless you're, man, let's see. Maybe we have to do this on the fly. So unless this was 3, God damn, could it be that? Let's just do a quick tally here. So that's a reasonable spot for the 3. I was considering, is this potentially now just all 1? Is this the 3? This is the 4, and we're still seeking the 5. God, that would be terrible. That would be horribly bearish. And not that I have a problem with that, but we'd be questioning now whether or not indeed this is a 1, right? So it's how do we argue with that impulse there? I don't think you can. So right, so at this point, for me, right, if I'm struggling like this, there's no, I'm not trading anything in the near future. Now I might do something like this just to get a sense of this trend. We are still in this trend. This now is suspect. Let's put that. We'll go up to intermediate here, just so we keep an eye on the degrees here. So if this is 1, 2, well, we've got a last stand down here, about as far as we can let that go here. 887, we could allow for that. So you're coming down here. Well, we're kind of in that zone. We're certainly a contender here. So let's put the 887 on there. So let's get you on there. Okay, so this would be kind of the last stand. God damn it! If that's going to line up all the way down here, boy, is this that? Boy, digging that. So this. Shit, I'm on a daily. Let's go to the 8-hour here. See if there's not an easy one. I can understand why you guys were requesting this. So this is the problem spot right here. So, Jesus, can I? Yeah, I can get 5 here. Okay, so I can get. So it's got to be this way. So it's got to be a triangle here. Okay, so there. I open it up a little bit. I can see it. Okay, so it's got to be in here. So I think we'd have to do it this way here. So we'd have to play it this way. So you'd get a little triangle 4, then we've got 5 down. Okay, so now I'm more comfortable with that A. Let's get you up a degree or 2. All right, so that A looks solid. You're just gonna have to live with the skinny B. So it's clear 3, but very shallow, and then this is just you know, it's anybody's guess, right? How are you? You can't have any conviction into that. Well, it's just chop. There's no clear wave relationship, no clear swing. So what can we do? We can just start looking for things like this, where we've got, right? This is why Elliott Wave should not be your guiding principle. Can we trade it without it? If we're unsure about it, yeah, swing. I got a swing. I get a retracement, goes right to golden zone, goes right to it. Well, in this case, that's likely your front run here. We get a reaction to and through. So it's tradable, but boy, the Elliott count is really suspect here. So at this point, I think you're trying to make do with the 1, the 2. How do we look here for the 3? Well, we're at least long enough, right? So we're through the 100. This would imply to, well, let's just check it. All right, so if that's sure, that sure looks like that's a 5, so it looks like you're in the process of going A, B, working on the C there. Let's put that up like that. So 1, 2, A, B, C into the 3. Looks like you'd be looking for A, B. Now we're gonna have to come out of this set of, this regression channel to break that, right? So that's gonna take some muscle here to get through that, right? So we're 2 standard deviations here. Yeah, we've gotten through it, but the median line tends to be a magnet here. So are we technical off of this low? Well, let's just zoom in there. So how do we look here as we're tagging the median line here? If that's the A, so from the low here, right, golden zone. All right, so that looks like a contender. So we'd have this. All right, so it's technical, it's tradable. So we'd want to look for a little confluence if we could. So if that's the A, and our B here. So this would be a reasonable location target here for that 4 to be going in. I could draw some median line. Oh, fuck. Yeah, we'll hide this. All right, so now we've got that. Let's hide it. So we can get some median lines on this. I'd go A into the B. All right, it's a correction. So I mean, you'd want to check both here. What do we have here? We have a potential for a golden corner, right into a golden zone. So we have a contender. If we're going right there for that C, right, that would be just ideal, right? So now, remember, right, so as long as this low holds, right, that's always the caveat. If that low holds, we've got a golden corner, 80% probability of making that median line. Now we can do it at the algo target, do it at 100% the length of the A. Either one of these would be reasonable targets to have. But what that seems to be setting up is the 4 to the 5. Now here's our last stand. Here's our 887 from the swing low. So if that's going to set up, we're heading more towards that. So now to pull that all the way back out here. Get you off here. So we'd be pushing for that very deep 2. So back to, where was I? Daily. Let's try the 8 hour. All right, so back to this. Right, so here I think this is very viable. Right, you're a little late to the party as we're just not tagging the 50. Well, look what's going to happen here. So now remember, we're out on a daily, so we're just bumping into that structure, right? Little structural resistance. So I'm on an 8 hour, so maybe you go down to the 3. Can you dig a motive out of that? Well, even on the 60. Is that really, you really got enough there to put money at risk on that? Is that a motive? Looks to me like that's got more work to do, right? Then yeah. I mean, even 15. Can we really? Well, so maybe you got a 1. Shit, let's open it up. If you're just dying to get into that, let's bring you down here. B, right? So we see right in the golden zone, right? So right, not the 618. That's the mistake so many make. Okay, so here we go. So 1. Oh, fuck you. Come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get you down to a reasonable degree. Let's get you in white. All right, so 3, 4, wick off the 1, right? Just a good habit to get into, so you just don't lose track of it. 1, 2, back to the 618. Up we go. Let's check the length. So, fuck, come here. 1 through the 2. Right, so we're past the 200%, so we're certainly, we've got decent, let's get you right on that, get you out of here. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'd watch from the 2, if that's the 3, it may be a little early to be making that call, but something like that, so we've got a little structure here to play with. Right, so something like that might come in, sets up the 4 to the 5. So then, so is there a trade here? All right, well, I think you got to wait for that. Right, you could take the 5, but then anticipate, here's the bigger trade. Right, if indeed we have a significant low here and this golden corner is going to play, which right now, as long as this, well, you could do it this way. Right, put a wick on that. Put in as long as that pivot holds, we have 80% probability of making the median line. So you want to be more conservative. Wait, right? Let's see. Do we come down and get the 4 and the 5? Now you've got your motive off of the low, right? You've got your first motive off of the golden corner. So, right, and again, nothing says we have to stop up here, but if we were to do something like that, right, that would be of interest. So you'd be pulling from here, from our absolute low, right? So you'd be looking for the A, the B, the A, the B, and the C. So potentially you'd have one golden followed by another golden, because then you'd just do the exact same thing, although I would go, as long as we're trending, I'd stay in original recipe, right, or corrections. I would go to the shift. So look, trying to put that all back together. Let's pull out to the 3. So we got a little start on it here. Get you right back on there. Come here. Here we go. Right, so then all the way back out to the 8. Now you can't even see it here now, right? So, but you can see that golden corner. You see those targets. So that's how I'd be playing that. Coming all the way back down here, I'd let this confirm for me that I've got a good 5. Right? You know, if you're, depending how aggressive you want to be here, you could trade, assuming you get the A, the B, you could trade the B into the C, and I'd be sure paying attention if we had the opportunity to go to a second golden corner within a larger golden corner, right? That's, you know, kind of dream about those. So you'd be looking for something along these lines, 3, 4, 5. Let's get you up a degree or 3. All right, so put that in. We'll go to yellow so you can see it. All right, so 1, 2, big 3. All right, there's our target. 4, 5 sends you back up. All right, so we'd be up towards that median line here. So there you go. I just kind of went through it rather quickly here, but that's too soon to really do anything yet, right? So we got a pop. So we went from the golden zone to the 50, right? Very common for a first target. Now we're seeing a little resistance. Now let's see how we look. You know, this could take, well, this is an hourly, could take a couple of days to see if this resolve here and give us that completed motive, and then start a little correction for us that would give us an opportunity, right? Don't assume that it's always going to go to the golden zone, right? Euro, very prone to go 786 and 1272. Those are common, right? I can't explain it why. Just doing this a long time, you see that fairly consistently in the euro. Right, so one to be watching, right? So I think you just, again, not ready to trade just yet, but certainly one to be on your watch list, right? If you can get that to play ball. All right, guys. All right, there you go.